Hey friends, Ash here with Gents, and today I'm coming at you guys with the tag video. I was tagged by George at the Fragrance Apprentice actually a while ago to do this video, and I'm just now getting around to it. Link in the description to his channel. If you haven't checked him out before, make sure to do so. The idea here, the topic is 10 different fragrances for 10 different countries. Right now, obviously, international travel is basically at a standstill, and this video is kind of looking forward a little bit. You know, some of the places you want to visit and what you plan on wearing when you can actually go there. So in this video, I'm going to go over 10 different places that I want to travel to and hopefully will be able to once this whole pandemic dies down. So let's jump into this. Okay, first place, Japan. Again, I've been to Japan multiple times. Of course, I actually made a video on this channel, kind of like a short highlight of some of the things I saw in Japan last time I was there. I went with Imagine Scent and Cascade Scents, two of my best friends in the fragrance community, and I want to go there again, only this time to Osaka and Kyoto, more so than Tokyo, although I'll go to Tokyo too. So the fragrance I've got lined up there is Still Life by Olfactive Studio. Of course, it makes use of yuzu, and there's also rum in there, pink pepper, so it's got this booziness to go along with the citrus and sweetness. I've also got some woody notes there in the base of the fragrance. You may not think booze and citrus would go together all that well for a summertime fragrance or springtime fragrance, but it does. This one is really nice. It's effervescent, but at the same time has a good amount of depth. It's one that you could wear during the day, during night, and it's not too loud. Of course, in Japan, fragrances are not really as big as they are in Europe or the United States or South America. It's a lot to do with the culture. You don't really want something that's going to be really loud and invade other people's space. So you're not going to smell a whole lot of people wearing fragrances when you visit Japan. I mean, some people do, but the majority really don't. And this one is not too loud, and it's one that I can spray on pretty lightly if I need to. So there we go, Kyoto, Japan, Still Life. Next up is a place my wife really wants to visit. It is Inverness in Scotland. And for this fragrance, I'm going to go with Green Irish Tweed. Yeah, not green Scottish tweed, but it's close enough. It has verbena, violet, iris, ambergris, and sandalwood as some of the notes in the fragrance. Of course, gets compared to an Irish countryside, very green, very refreshing, very brisk. It's a fragrance that's also gentlemanly, sophisticated, and even though it's been out since the 80s, doesn't smell dated. The quality on it, very high, as you would expect. The versatility, extremely high. One of my favorite fragrances of all time. And if I'm going to go to the Scottish Highlands, I think that one is as good a choice as any. So Inverness, Scotland, Green Irish Tweed. Next up, we're going to Mexico, more specifically, Tequila, Mexico, for obvious reasons. Yeah, and for this one, I'm going with Guerlain, Homme Lo Boisé. This one has mint, vetiver lime, and rum as some of the notes in the fragrance, and also commonly gets quoted as having a mojito vibe. So you can see where I'm going here. So this is a fragrance that has undergone a bottling change, and I believe the name has slightly changed as well, but the fragrance stays pretty much the same. Once again, we have another fragrance that's spring and summer oriented, but features booze once again. And it works once again. We've got citrus, this time lime instead of yuzu, and mint, very fresh, very brisk. This one would work great, I feel like, in tequila. Not the drink, the city. And from south of the border, we'll go north of the border this time to Canada, Toronto, Canada. I've got lots of friends in the fragrance community in that area, so I would love to get up to Toronto. I went to Montreal with Manny from Cascade Scents in the past. We actually went to a music festival there, but I've never really been to Toronto. I've flown through Toronto multiple times, but never actually stopped in the city and checked it out. As I understand it, it's kind of like the New York City of Canada, kind of. So for Toronto, I'm going with Voyage d'Hermès by Hermès. And there's an EDT and an Eau de Parfum. We're going with the Parfum here. We've got spices, including cardamom, woods, tea, and lemon as some of the notes in this fragrance. Presentation on it is pretty unique, and the fragrance itself, for being a highly wearable, very versatile, attention-grabbing designer fragrance, very unique as well. This one to me smells decently grown up, but at the same time, a younger person could very easily pull this off. A really, really, really nice fragrance that gets overlooked. I feel like this fragrance would work very well in a metropolitan area like Toronto. I could have gone with something maybe a little more out there or something a little more hipsterish, you know. Could have gone with like Santal 33 or something, but I think I want to go with this one. Next up, going back to Asia, to Thailand this time, to Bangkok. This is a place that I've talked to a couple friends about visiting a few times, and it's a place I'd really like to check out. Now, to be fair, I've never been to Thailand, but I've heard that in the summertime, it can get, we'll say warm, maybe humid. And so I'm gonna go with Light Blue Eau Intense by Dolce & Gabbana. This one, really nice summertime fragrance. Clean, refreshing. It's not too complicated, but really, I probably wouldn't want to wear something super complicated. I would just want something that's fresh. There's amberwood, juniper, sea notes, and grapefruit as some of the notes in this fragrance. And it's the first one in the light blue line that kind of jumped out at me because I was looking for something just, again, not too fussy, not too complex, not too heavy, but that did have enough lasting power that it would stay on a while after I sprayed it on and would have me smelling clean and fresh. That was really what I was going for. So I feel like that one would work pretty well. So I'm gonna go with that one. Light Blue Eau Intense. After there, I'm thinking Italy. I'm thinking the Amalfi Coast. So just kicking back and relaxing at one of the most beautiful places on earth. And since we're talking Italy, I wanted just a classic Italian cologne style fragrance. So we're talking Acqua di Parma Colonia. Just the original Acqua di Parma Colonia. So we're not talking about any of the mini flankers. We're not talking one of the Blue Mediterraneano ones, just Colonia. As citrus, lavender, rosemary, and verbena. And this fragrance is just really sophisticated, gentlemanly, refined. It's a little bit subtle in the sense that it doesn't, bash you over the head, but it's just a very refined and clean fragrance. And that's what I'm looking for. If I'm going to the Italian coast, I want to wear an Italian style cologne. From there, we'll go to France, go to Paris, and I'm gonna go with a Cartier Declaration d'un Soir. Rose, pepper, sandalwood, cardamom, some of the notes in this fragrance. And this is one of the best men's designer rose fragrances that you can buy. And it's a fresh one as well. So it's not a heavy, jammy rose. It's a fresh, spicy, lively rose. The quality, very high. The price that you can pick this up at discounters from, very, very reasonable in my opinion. The fragrance is really versatile. Like I said, the quality, very high. And the fragrance is really versatile, like most of the ones on this list. And I did want a fragrance for Paris that had kind of a floral touch to it. This one, as I mentioned, nails it with the rose. It doesn't come across feminine or heavy, and just was the first fragrance that popped into my head. And sometimes you just don't want to overthink it. So this one is what we're going with, Declaration d'un Soir. Next up, St. Petersburg, Russia. Yes, going to Mother Russia. Maybe check out the Hermitage while I'm up there. With this fragrance, kind of copped out a little bit because I'm going with Russian Leather by Memo Paris. And I know some people are gonna say, well, you could have gone with Cuir de Russie, and fair enough, but I'm gonna go with Russian Leather and show a little bit of love for Memo. As some of you know, I'm a big fan of African leather and in general their leather line. So this one has pine, leather, and spice along with lavender as some of the notes in the fragrance. And this one's really kind of a fresh, spicy, and woody fragrance, maybe even more so than it is a leather fragrance. That being said, that's not really out of the ordinary or out of the norm for the leather line from Memo, because African leather, for example, is not really heavily leather forward. That one actually for me, has more cardamom in it than it does leather. So you've kind of got that going on in this one as well, where it's not really necessarily leather forward and then everything else supporting it, but it still works. It smells great. And it has a really cool bottle, so thumbs up for that. I have never actually been to Russia, but I would love to go there and check it out. I have been to Belarus, I've been to Ukraine, I've been to Poland, I've been to Moldova, so I've been to a lot of countries around there, but never to Russia. Next up, we are going back to Asia, going to South Korea, to Seoul, and the fragrance I'm going with is Bulgari Pour Homme Soie. This one has papyrus, bergamot, amber, and Darjeeling tea. And the tea note here is what really does it for me. This, again, a fragrance that I wouldn't wear very heavily, and I was wanting something clean, and I did actually want a tea note for this one. Something that is very inoffensive, and that's what this one is. This fragrance gets overlooked a bit. It's really solid, very high quality. The price is not that much. It doesn't smell super youthful, so it's probably somebody in their upper 20s and above that's going to enjoy this one, but it's very nice and overlooked. So I would bring that one to Seoul, South Korea, and rock that. And last up, Barcelona, Spain. And I'm gonna go with a Carner Barcelona fragrance, kind of a cop-out again, going with El Born. Honey, vanilla, Peru balsam, and benzoin, some of the notes in this fragrance, and that really lets you know right away what type of scent this one is. You've got some sweet notes there, and also some more sweet notes there. You've got some resins, a little bit of a balsamic vibe from some of those notes there. This one smells fantastic. I believe it is the most popular fragrance from the line, and for good reason. There are lots of solid fragrances from Carner Barcelona. If it's a house that you've never checked out, absolutely do so. Get a discovery kit or something, because they have some gems. And this one is just really one of my absolute favorites from the house. That's the reason that I picked it. Not really too much in-depth thought went into that. It was basically like Carner Barcelona. I really like El Born, so there we go. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for me. 10 countries and cities, kind of, and 10 fragrances to go along with them. Again, shout out to George. I'm not gonna tag anybody here because I'm not sure who all has been tagged at this point, but if you have a fragrance YouTube channel and you wanna do this video, absolutely knock yourself out. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.